I appreciate it. My former colleague over at CNBC, Becky, quick for the win, ladies and gentlemen. This former colleague of mine over at CNBC, who hosts the morning show very early in the morning, had Hakeem Jeffries on. I mean, you're up early in the morning. That's hard enough. And then you got to look at that guy in the screen. And he's just going off and trying to talk circles around you, but he's not very smart, as you know. And Becky, trust me, is smart. And she actually understands the economy, and she does understand markets. And she's like, I'm over you, bud. You make no sense. I want you to see her rolling her eyes in frustration. Now remember, like, it's cable. You can't be quite as animated and have the pizzazz that you have, say, over here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. Make a comment. I appreciate it. But listen, it's cable, so you got to keep a little decorum. Maybe that's why it didn't really work for me. I get a little too excited and frustrated and annoyed, right? Yeah, I'll just have it out with these people. But anyway, here he is with a bunch of BS, and she doesn't want any part of it. This is fantastic. Go, Becky.
If this is something that you want to satiate, if you want to get done, you are going to need at least some Republicans to come over. Why not start with a 1-year extension or potentially even a 2-year extension?
Well, Leader Schumer offered a 1-year extension in the context of trying to end the Trump Republican shutdown.
Yeah, but that's different. I'm talking about what you have now. Let's not go back to what's done in the past and what has not been extended. If you want to get something that has actually...
Okay, now just wait for it. Watch her eyes.
Done. You need to do something that will have bipartisan.
You can ask me the question. You can ask me the question. I'll provide the answer.
Answer the question instead of going back.
I'll provide the answer. No. I'm providing an answer in order to provide context. Republican...
Look at that eye roll. Look at that eye roll. You know, the cameraman saw the eye roll, so he took it off of her. He goes to him for a minute, but she's back for more.
Have repeatedly refused to take yes for an answer. It was a very reasonable multi-year extension that was offered. It was a 1-year straight extension plus a multi-year process through a bipartisan commission to more permanently resolve the Affordable Care Act issue. So having that context is absolutely important, regardless of what you may think.
It's important context to make me realize that I don't think you want to get a deal done. I think this is something where you'd like to see the rates go higher and allow the Republicans to hang themselves with that. Is that the answer? That's absolutely politics?
That's absolutely a ridiculous assertion.
The eye roll again. Like, I actually haven't seen her do that a lot. She must be so frustrated with the guy. Look, she's like, man, oh man, like, what am I going to do with you, freaking moron? Get off my head.
3 years is not going to get passed, so what do you do?
Shame on you for saying that.
Don't invite him back, Becky. Okay? Like, he doesn't deserve it. You see, she actually knows what's going on in the economy. That's like her job. She kind of has to understand that. There are very few, I'll tell you, there are very few financial journalists that are total commies. I mean, they may lean a little left, they may be a little squishy, but it's pretty hard. I mean, when push comes to shove, people want the markets doing better. They want the economy doing better. And so that actually takes some of the politics out of it in a way. Like, I feel like one of the reasons why I responded and looked at Donald Trump's tax plan and was like, wow, this is great, as far back as 2016, was because, again, I'm not coming at it with the bias of politics. I'm actually coming at it with the bias of, I want our markets to do well. I want our economy to do well. I want us to be safe, right? You need the safety. And I want us to be planning for the future, for industry and for growth. And listen to me, I'm going to tell you, you do not have a strong country if you do not have a strong middle class. He grew middle class incomes prior to the March 2020 situation, which I warned you at the time would be devastating for him and devastating for the country from a political perspective, as it was. You don't shut everything down, right? Like, there are a lot of other ways to go about that. Anyway, that's, Monday morning quarterbacking, although I will say I told you so at the time. But Donald Trump did the most for the middle class worker since JFK. That's how far back you got to go. Democrats weren't doing squat. You need a strong middle class in order to have a strong economy. You cannot be like Latin America, right, with a lot on the top and a lot on the bottom. Actually, maybe Latin America is more like a pyramid, but there's no middle, you see, so we have to think about that for a second, because I'll tell you, the U.S. is increasingly becoming that hourglass economy where we do have a lot on top, right? There's a lot of people with a lot of wealth. The middle class is so squeezed. And then the people on the bottom, they're getting handout after handout after handout, which is why Brooke Rollins is saying, no. You're going to reapply for SNAP benefits. We're going to make sure that you are trying to get a job before you collect these SNAP benefits. We're doing a whole lot to make sure that we shore up all the corruption that's within the entire welfare chain. This is new. People have not done this before.